And welcome to All People's Church, Unitarian Universalist. My name is Michael Zepeda, and I will be your co-celebrant this morning. Also in the pulpit is our minister, Lori King Nelson. We gather to worship, our hearts alive with hope that here we will be truly seen, that here we will be welcomed into the garden of this community where the simple and elegant, the fluted and frilled, the shy and the dramatic complement one another and are treasured. May we know that here, each contributes in their way to the beauty of the whole. Come, let us worship together, all genders, all sexualities, all politics, clappers and non-clappers, progressives and conservatives. May we root ourselves in the values of this faith: compassion and courage, transcendence, justice, and transformation. If you're a visitor today and haven't yet signed in, please do. There's a visitor's table by the front door, and signing in will give us the opportunity to acknowledge your visit and place you on our mailing list to receive the weekly email and the monthly newsletter. Before we continue with our service, I've got a few announcements here. First off, from David Bindi and the folks at NTTN, thank you to everyone who helped make the fundraiser on Thursday night possible. Thanks to the choir who sang with us. Thanks to the people who donated the money. $1,500 was raised from our church. We had over 200 people here, and overall, the fundraiser raised over $26,000 for the North Texas Transportation Network. So give yourselves a pat on the back. Are you interested and available to go to Austin to lobby for justice with your elected representatives during the 89th Texas legislative session? This is your chance to go with fellow UUs organized by the Texas UU Justice Ministry, the TXUUJM. The date is Monday, March the 17th. Carpool groups and or charter bus groups are forming both from Dallas and Fort Worth. Check with Mary Kerwin or Jane Collins if you'd like some more information. This is a great chance to tell Tony Hinderholt and the rest of the gang what you really think. It's a great follow-up to helping North Texas Transportation Network, whom we benefited at our concert last week. Our North Texas UU Congregations group, known by many as NTUC, is celebrating a century of new anniversaries this next Sunday, March the 2nd at 3 p.m. This will happen at the Horizon UU Church in Carrollton. The keynote address will be given by special guest Dr. Deborah Hafner, a UU minister from Newton, Massachusetts. Members of the All People's Church Choir will be there singing. This is a big community revival event and everyone is invited. There is a catered dinner after the ceremony, free food, but the organizers need a head count. So if you are interested in attending that celebration, please go to ntuuc.org and register your attendance. attendance. So let's help them celebrate. And they have given us a lot of grants over the years, so let us show our appreciation for everything that they've done for us. And now please settle comfortably for the musical prelude. Misha?
So lucky to have Misha. Thank you so much. Wow. I'm energized. Here we are at the base of another bridge, another space spanning the shores of today and tomorrow, beckoning us to cross the chasm one day at a time.
Spirit for the chalice lighting, our opening hymn, and the spoken affirmation. Our chalice lighting words this morning are from Chad Snyder. To belong is to be longing for a space to be held, and that will hold friend, stranger, neighbor, other. For silences broken by songs of the silenced, for time that does not stretch but encircles. To belong is to be longing for wholeness of the beloved, of all who belong and are longing. Please join us now in singing our opening hymn of the month for February, number 113, Where is Our Holy Church? Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with creation. Thus do we covenant with one another. The young and the young at heart are now invited to come forward here on the carpet for our story for all ages.
And if you haven't noticed, Sarah is with us this morning. Let me grab the book. Yeah, today, because we're talking about diversity, I thought it was a good idea to match a book up with that. So not everybody around. I think somebody went to get some young people. Okay. Not that we're not young. Not anymore. Sarah just gets to be a kid now. Okay. And I want to thank David Bendy for the stockpile of books that I have been using recently. I come into my office and there'll be a stack of books with a note on it saying, "I thought you could use these." And boy, have I. Hi. Good morning. You can either sit up here or you can sit down here on the carpet, whichever you're more comfortable doing. Yeah, it'd be hard to do both. I think you'd have to lay if you were trying to do both. So we're talking about diversity today and how we include others. And what do you think diversity is about? Well, yes, we do try to be kind to each other because we're all different, right? All of us are different. And so we want to make sure that we include everybody and that we're really nice to everybody because we're all different, but we're also all the same. So this book is called The Festival of Colors. Guavas are ripening, lotuses are blooming, and Holi, the Indian Festival of Colors, is almost here. Chintu and Mintu are getting ready. Oh, I love their names. Holy hi, they whisper. They gather hibiscus flowers because hibiscus flowers make red. Those are beautiful, aren't they? And they're really big like that, too. They gather orchids because orchids make purple. Oh, what do you think they're going to make with these flowers? A big necklace, maybe. They gather marigolds because marigolds make orange. What? Yeah. They gather irises because irises make blue. Yeah, so they're gathering them all in that basket, aren't they? Yeah. The Festival of Colors, that's right. Then they lay the flowers out to dry. Then they separate the petals. And then they press the petals into fine powders. Ooh. What do you think they'll do with the powder?
They're making a rainbow. They're making maybe a cake.
Maybe a cake, maybe a rainbow.
They're maybe making a cake made out of flowers.
A mask made out of flowers?
Like what we made with the flowers. We mushed them up with a rock on the cloth.
Oh, you mushed them up with rock on the cloth. And then you made a mat? Is that what you said?
We made different colors. And see them on the other page.
He's ready to move on. At last, the petal powders are ready. Chintu and Mintu are ready too. Ooh, that's a high pile of powder, isn't it?
We got a lot of yellow.
Yes. And so are their parents. Look, everybody is wearing white. Oh, this sounds exciting. And their friends. Okay, everybody has a different color, don't they? Except him, he has a ball, and he has a dog. I don't know, maybe the dog is interested too.
Maybe.
And the neighbors. Oh, and look, there are necklaces, and they have candles out. And look, even the baby in the stroller has some powder. And then, poof, purple pops. Poof, red bursts. Poof, orange erupts. Poof, blue splashes. Oh,
They're wearing white so they can get all colors.
exactly. Look at them.
I knew it.
They threw the colors all over themselves. Poof, 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 poof. Holy high, holy high, holy high, everyone shouts. Oh, that's really beautiful. All those colors.
That's why they were wearing
Right.
colors.
Holi is a festival of fresh starts and friendship and forgiveness. But for Chintu and Mintu, it's also a festival of, sometimes the pages stick together, fun. Now, wouldn't you have fun doing that?
Yes.
Yeah, have you ever done that? Like maybe at school? No? Well, now, if anybody talks about this festival, you'll know what it's about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's about having fun, but it's also about friendship, right? Yeah. Okay, that was the end. So I know that I've participated in one of these before, but if you haven't, then that's an opportunity for you to be a part of a very diverse group that accepts other people's celebrations, right? Okay. Yes. Yeah.
When I'm older, I want to go to India and do it.
And I bet you will. All right, let's sing everybody out. Y'all have a good week.
A religious community is like a river formed from the many streams of our lives that meet and merge and flow to the sea. As members and friends of this religious community, we share our time and energy, our creativity, imagination, and vision, our talents, our skills, and our gifts, and the streams of our individual lives to create a river that is both deep and broad, a river that is made of many streams, sustains life, and refreshes the land through which it flows. But the river of this community also depends on our shared financial support that makes real our shared values and vision. We will now receive an offering for the support of this religious community and its work in the world. You are invited to give generously and joyfully as you are willing and able. It is our custom to share the undesignated cash offerings that are collected each week. We do this on a quarterly basis for a nonprofit or charitable organization that shares our values. Our Share the Plate recipient for the first quarter of 2025 is the Tarrant County Reading Partners. If you prefer, donations can also be made using the QR code printed on the back of the order of service. The gifts of the congregation will be most gratefully received. Will the ushers please come forward?
Our reading this morning comes from a collection of scar poetry by a woman named Los. One day I will write happy poems. They will not be about my mother's tragedy or my grandmother's pain. I will write happy poems. They will not be about how I carry pain so well, how the daughters of my family carry pain so well, like a prized family heirloom handed down through generations. I will write happy poems. When the healing is done and only joy is to come, when the revolution of being a firstborn daughter in a poor African family is done, when the war has been fought against poverty and won, I will write happy poems. One day, I promise, I will write a happy poem, and it will be a poem filled with such joy. Everyone who hears it will break out in laughter and celebration, because imagine the joy of a firstborn African daughter. Oh, Jubilee, on that day, I will write a happy poem. Will you rise in body or spirit and join us in hymn number 1053 in the teal hymnal? How could anyone? At this time in our service, we pause to honor and to give time and attention to those things most important to us. We gather here for healing and for peace in our hearts, and to honor our time together with the shared stories and news of the congregation. Each week there is a journal outside the entrance to the sanctuary where you can write a message of memory or hope before the service. We honor these messages by lighting 3 candles here next to our chalice. Also, at any time during our service, you are welcome to come forward and light a candle in our meditation center here at the side of the chancel. In our book of memory and hope this morning, we have been asked to remember that today, February 23rd, is the 69th anniversary of Roy Redmond's 18th birthday. And I want to thank Paul Shatman for that. Happy birthday, Roy. In these days of institutionally sanctioned selfishness and savagery, let us remember the words of Rabbi Joachim Prinz. Neighbor is not a geographic term, it is a moral concept. We pause here to hold and to honor the sorrows and celebrations among us, including those deeply felt but left here unspoken. Let us pause for a moment of silent meditation and music. Our meditation words are from Victoria Weinstein. Spirit of love, life and love, we have gathered again out of our separateness to know that we are not alone. In our fears, we are not alone. In our grasping for peace, finding it in fleeting moments and losing it again to some turmoil of the mind and heart, we are not alone. In our cynical moments, our wonderings, is this all there is? Is this the best we can do? We are not alone. In our pain, we are not alone. And so we dwell in you, Spirit of healing and wholeness, for this brief time, willing to be held here in an immense and eternal love whose origins we do not know, whose reality is irresistible. It calls us on. It reaches between us to fill spaces. It consoles the grieving and it calms the anxious. It gives new vision to eyes dimmed by tears and exhaustion. It opens the ear to deeper truth. It makes a place in the heart as hope. Let us rest in this peace and be held here. Page not found, a haiku. Our search is lonely, a footprint left in pure snow, blown into nothing. In my search for a web page I had long ago saved to the favorites on my computer, I clicked on the link to what had once been a most informative and reflective article on how Christianity was built on the DEI teachings of Jesus. For whatever reason, that article was gone and replaced with this haiku, aptly titled "Page Not Found." Our search is lonely, a footprint left in pure snow, blown into nothing. Well, if that doesn't sum up the abrupt disappearance of DEI and all we've worked for decade after decade, we've marched for justice, voted in leaders dedicated to justice. We have brought the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion to the forefront of our faith. All of these actions in a desire to live by our guiding principles. That agreement between us to be in relationship with each other, with the divine, and with the community. Our way of being in the world. Page not found. The weight of social injustices and the issue of justice have been heavy on us the past decade, and at times it's been crushing. The work of restoration is solemn and hard. At times it seems we're walking backwards while reaching forward across a great chasm guarded with fear and hatred. There's not a single person here who doesn't pray that our work of justice will be rewarded. Until then, these questions of justice, social justice, and the church come with a lot of pressure and baggage. However, I think the answer is what C.S. Lewis says in The Weight of Glory. The load or weight of my neighbor's burden, The load or weight or burden of my neighbor's glory should be daily laid on my back. A load so heavy that only humility can carry it. And the backs of the proud will be broken. This does not mean we are to be perpetually solemn. We must play. But our merriment must be of that kind. And it is, in fact, the merriest kind, which exists between people who have, from the outset, taken each other seriously. No flippancy, no superiority, no presumption. And our charity must be a real and costly love, with deep feeling for the sins in spite of which we love the sinner. No mere tolerance or indulgence which parodies love, as flippancy parodies merriment. Next to the Blessed Sacrament itself, your neighbor is the holiest object presented to your senses. The load or weight or burden of my neighbor's glory should be laid daily on my back, a load so heavy that only humility can carry it. Your neighbor is the holiest object presented to your senses. Those two lines. If we can't carry anything else away from this time in history, I feel we must carry these words so our works may not be blown into nothing. Tish Warren says our cultural moment is like a cartoon where two people stand on the opposite sides of a number 6. You've seen it. One person is looking down and saying, "That's a number 6." Then the other person is standing on the opposite side of the number and they're saying, "No, that's a number 9. So they're looking at the same thing, but they're coming in from a different perspective. They're seemingly living in an unbridgeable divide. That's where we've been, with the rise in social justice, the embracing and the anger of diversity, equity, and inclusion. There are people on the opposite sides of multiple divides saying, "Don't you see?" We're trying to name a divine vision of justice, but we've been looking at our faiths from different perspectives. What we need is the humility to step on the other side, to see our neighbor's viewpoint and invite them to do the same with ours. Common ground. That elusive thing that feels less like compromise and more like surrender. I struggle with that. Why? Because why can't people just see that by working toward diversity, equity, and inclusion, we are moving closer to a just world? Why can't they just see that they don't get less because others get a little more? Why don't Christians see the same words I see when looking at the words of the prophet Jesus? Common ground is so damn hard. Biblical justice is found throughout the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament. Justice is an integral part of Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism, and the multitude of other faith systems found among the world's people. So why is common ground in such short supply? A little while back, I had a conversation with a woman who was against DEI, and she said she didn't need the government pushing a program that tells her what she's supposed to think and believe, and sure didn't need them telling her how to treat other people. Her Facebook post of just a few days prior was praising state and federal governments for forcing classrooms to display the 10 Commandments, and said that if everyone just believed in Christian values, our country wouldn't be filled with murderers, rapists, and black people on welfare. Like I said, common ground can be very hard to find sometimes. Now, when we talk about justice, we're talking about redemptive work that brings back peace, fairness, equity, and shalom. That right relationship with creation and others in the world around us. That is exactly what DEI and other radical ideas are meant to do. They're meant to transform us into the people we were meant to be, which transforms the world into the creation it was meant to be. My Christian background taught me that we are to live right now as if we are already in that heaven on earth place. You've heard me call it the now and the not yet. A place where peace and abundance reign, where no one goes to bed hungry, where no one goes off to war. A place where we celebrate the beauty of a diverse and equitable existence. I know that the righteous indignation that bubbles and is on a bursting point in our hearts at all the injustice in the world is a good thing because it shows how we were designed. We were designed for Eden, a place with perfectly flourishing relationships between the divine and creation and between each other. However, that righteous indignation needs to be directed, or it will blaze over everything rather than refining the good and burning away the bad. This church is the one place, the fireplace, where all that fuel and kindling is meant to go. Lit with the light of love and the burning desire of our hearts, this church becomes that city on a hill with its lights shining for all to see what justice really looks like. Justice means everyone must be treated equally and with dignity. This is because we are all created in the image of the divine, what some call the Imago Dei. And that is the basis by which we have rights and by which we have our identity. I love what C.S. Lewis says elsewhere in The Weight of Glory, that you have never met a mere mortal. There's no such thing as an ordinary person. If we can see everyone through that lens, it will change the way we see our neighbor and work toward a more just world. This past Thursday, with a showing of somewhere around 250 not mere mortals, I saw with my own eyes and heart DEI in action. A diverse people here to support equity for our trans youth who, with great fear, are forced to seek life-saving, gender-affirming healthcare out of state. And for some, it becomes seeking sanctuary permanently out of Texas. What a radical idea it is to reach out with love and support them on their journey. What a radical idea it is to love. The load or weight or burden of my neighbor's glory should be daily laid on my back. A load so heavy that only humility can carry it, because my neighbor is the holiest object that will ever be presented to my senses. So many people put endless hours of work into making that concert a reality, and raising more than $26,000 for the North Texas Transportation Network. As a human, because all humans should care, and as the mother of a trans son, I feel so much gratitude to those who love and care enough to support these young people who are marginalized and threatened and are so often victims of hate-fueled violence. Will you just stand for a moment if you participated in any way in this event? Whether it was a donation of time, talent, money, presence, prayers. Please stand. Yeah. That makes you feel good, doesn't it? Yeah. You are the very reason I have hope for a future where all people look to themselves to be part of a solution. Thank you for standing. A century ago, the London Times posed a question to the public, and anyone could submit a response. The question was, what is wrong with the world? You can only imagine the responses from people pointing to their various qualms with the world, politics, people groups, etc. But G.K. Chesterton wrote back, "Dear sirs, I am. Yours truly, GKC." Yeah. In the reading for today, the poet Loss speaks of a future without pain and suffering and hunger. A future where we can look back on the days we are now living through and celebrate because we have conquered oppression and greed and hate. We long for that time. And while our work continues, we know that one day we will be rewarded. Oh, Jubilee, on that day, I will write a happy poem. Will you rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 163, For the Earth Forever Turning.
Our closing words are from Teresa Youngblood. May you be invited to the party. May you be asked to dance. May you be amazed to learn that your own precious heart already knows and leaps to the song. And in this moment, whirling in the expansive affirmation of all creation, an embodiment of the divine's boundless love, may you turn and face the door, arms outstretched, to sing in wide welcome the ever-changing song of togetherness to those who have yet to discover that they too belong here.
Somewhere out there, all we dream is possible. In here, we are planting the seeds. The service has ended. We invite all to join us at this time for coffee and conversation in the library behind this sanctuary.